And this is my comrade Sam Collins here, and we would like to welcome you all to a tribute to Mama Hasinatu. She was family to me. I met Mama Hasinatu when I was 4 years old, and she's been a part of my life since then. And I'll share some stories a little later. But basically, this event, I do a fundraiser for my film project called the Alma Negra set. And Alma Negra means black soul in Portuguese. And over the summer, we had a wonderful time, and Mama was at like 3 of the events. And it's usually a musical performance, and then we open up the mic to the public. So Mama came through and she rapped on stage and all of that fun stuff this summer. So I figured we could do a set in honor of her and just open up the mic to the community and loved ones to share reflections, stories, poems, music, whatever you may have to tribute to Mama. I'd like to welcome Mama Hasinatu's family. Baba Muhammad, her husband, is here. Her sister, Auntie Veronica, her niece Chanel, some other family members. I'm not sure their names, but I'll get to them soon. And her beautiful daughter-in-law, Donna, and son, Kevin, is here. And a lot of her other comrades I see are in the house. So there's going to be some more musicians and folks coming through a little later. I partnered up with Sam. Oh, first and secondly, I'd like to thank Sankofa for allowing us to use this space. This was a second home to Mama. You could find her in here at any given time, you know, chatting with the youth. She loves spending time with the youth. And one of the reasons why I partnered with Sam was because I think the past year, or was it 2 years, Mama would come and study with them, the Black Study Circle. Yes. And things like that. So I just wanted to include some youth that Mama was connected with, and youth and people that carries on her legacy. I also have some young sisters that helped me out over the summer with the fundraisers, and they were able to spend some time with Mama Hasinatu and get some of her astrology readings and all of that good stuff. As we know, Mama was multi-talented. She was a bit of everything, and the list can go on, but from a master teacher to an artist, an actress, you know, she starred in Sankofa, but her most recent hit is a film that's not out yet, but it's Marawi's film. I don't know the title. Is he here? Residue. Yeah, Mama ranted and raved about the role she played in that. So it's just really beautiful. I'm actually a filmmaker now because I was inspired by Mama Hasinatu to become one. And I was in Brazil and I had lunch with Garima. This was last month. Well, maybe is this December? Yeah. I think it was this month. And I was in Brazil just talking to him, and I was like, Mama Hasinatu was so excited to play in your son's film. So she was just going all around town like, I'm in 2 generations of Garima's films. So I'd like to thank Hailey and Garima and the family for, you know, casting Mama and her roles to play in the film. So I'm going to pass the mic to Sam, and then we will have some libations by Priestess Abana, and then we'll open up the mic and you guys can come up here. There will be music. If you do poetry, whatever, just feel free. I don't have any performances scheduled per se because I wanted to allow everyone who wanted to speak a chance. So we do have a time limit, which is 3 minutes to speak. So we're going to get into the program. I'll let Sam say his few words, and then we'll have Mama Abana come up. Thank you. Oh, we have a
Thank you.
Okay.
Peace. In the interest of keeping it at 3 minutes, I'm not going to say too much. I'm just going to say just enough just how Mama Hasinatu liked it. Like Philani said, for the past year or so, I, along with some other young people, many of us who frequented a study circle right around the corner at ECAC, the Sankofa Circle, and some other young people, as a matter of fact, those was working on projects. We met Mama Hasinatu, and every week or so, or just whenever she was here at Sankofa for All Eyes on DC, she would always talk to us about history, about her work with Kwame Ture, about what she did as a young person, about DC history, about what was going on currently. She would talk to us about other young people doing projects. She always kept it all the way 100. There was no other way to go when you're talking to Mama Hasinatu. And the way that she talked to us and that she vibed with us, it was as if she was one of us. And that was just the thing about her. It didn't matter how old you were. But especially if you were a young person, she could vibe with you. You know, she had that energy and it kept her going and going. So I, for one, I'm very appreciative and very humbled to have known this woman. I'm very honored to have been in her presence and to really, you know, sit at her feet for the last year or so of her life, you know, hearing her talk about any and everything. And just, you know, she said, you know, people that have two family, you know, you have your blood family, then you got your revolutionary family, you know. And Mama Hasinatu, you know, she was an elder in my revolutionary family. You know, she opened up her arms to us, and she really made us feel like we were doing really, really good stuff in the world, you know. I get scared sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, just with everything going on, all the stuff that's been done leading up until now, as far as our ancestors and our elders, it's very hard taking the mantle and going above and beyond. But Mama Hasinatu, the way she talked about us, it made it seem like we were doing all right, even when we felt like we weren't doing enough. She made us feel like it was enough and then some. So, very appreciative. I thank her family for letting her be with us, for letting us have a piece of her. And I thank the community for making her who she was.
Thank you. Thank you. Mama Abena. All right. Little step to the side.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
You need that? Need the mic?
You need.
Unless someone can't hear me, they probably can't.
Can y'all hear in the back?
Okay.
Yes. The first time that Mama Hasinatu and I had a really, really long conversation, I was invited to come to Colombia to do libations. Actually, I wasn't commissioned to do it here today, but somehow it came out that way. So everything really is in divine order. I really kind of met her while I was doing libations, and now I'm doing libations on her behalf. So, Emaro se ozana lo bako sumiwa, la we. Inamado se ozana lo bako sumiwa, la we. Na la vio kanye, Creole Monday shanchman, no tuzi zayo, zanba zimwe. No tuzi zayo, zanba zimwe, damala we do, ayada we do. No tuzi zayo, zanba zimwe, atala na prele wayo, I go Atala na prele wayo, I go Atalandesha kensandesha, samaloge, atalandesha dagsesha, samaloge, atalae morile, bonsoir, wanio. Ayibobo. Ayibobo. And in Creole, Ayibobo means hallelujah. And I went to all directions of the universe because our people are scattered around, and I want to give honor and thanks to all four of the directions. I'm going to pour libation. First, I'm going to under the four corners. This libation is for Mama Hasinatu Camara. Honor her family, honor her spirit, honor her presence, and to call her to see this wonderful celebrations of friends and family who come out to speak about the joy that she brought into their lives. But as we're honoring her, we're honoring all the other people who are traveling and have gone beyond that she also honored while she was living. So we'll start with Mama Hasinatu, and then I ask you, as I do the libations, to call out others' names, to honor them also. And then we'll pour that libation into, it's very ironic, they brought this aloe, because that's the biggest plant I have in my home. And we'll pour it inside this living plant. You call out your mother's name. Loud. You call out your mother's name.
Hasinatu Camara.
Ayibobo. Let's keep it.
Thomas Sampler.
Ayibobo.
Elizabeth Sampler.
Ayibobo. 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 Loud with
Kwame
passion. Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Barry Matuck.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Malcolm X.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Barney Hester.
Ayibobo.
Kwame
Ayibobo.
Barney
Ayibobo.
Crick.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Jewel Mosaic.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Nanny Helen Burrows.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Anna Julia Cooper.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Frederick Douglass.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Mama Marilyn Preston Killingham.
Oh, Ayibobo. Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
James Brown.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Francis Anthony.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Murtis Ferdinand.
Ayibobo.
Preston Anthony.
Ayibobo.
Hester Woods.
Ayibobo.
Mary Minor.
Ayibobo.
Jim Vance.
Ayibobo.
Marion Barry.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Nelson Mandela.
Ayibobo.
Dr. Doris Hall.
Ayibobo.
Thomas Sankara.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Malcolm X.
Ayibobo.
All African educators.
Yes.
Ayibobo. Ayibobo.
Nat Turner.
Ayibobo.
Chokwe
Sojourner
Lumumba.
True. Ayibobo.
Steve Biko.
Ayibobo.
Kwame Ture.
Ayibobo.
Coretta Scott King.
Ayibobo.
Nanny Helen
Ayibobo.
Kwame Nkrumah.
Ayibobo. 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 That is in the libation. And for those spirits who love the spirit, I say in their behalf, one here, 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 and here. Ayibobo, Ayibobo, and remember your ancestors, just like the people today. If you have a problem, you have an issue, you have concerns, you need help, you need healing, who do you go to first? Mostly your family, right? Because you know they love you. Ancestors love you too. They're living spirits. Also talk to them. They will work with you. Give them the honor and respect by giving them offerings and libations, and they'll become stronger in spirit, and they can help you. They will even advise you in your dreams. Pay close attention. Pay attention to the signs, because your ancestors are always walking next to you, in front of you, behind you, supporting you to lift you up if you ask for their help. Ayibobo, 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 and Ayibobo is hallelujah. Thank you.
Thank you.
May they be here today and walk with us. Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Boston Beans.
You're welcome.
thanks.
Peace and blessings.
Give thanks, Nabasi. Okay, so now we will open up the floor for folks who want to come up. Baba Dunu bought some bean sprouts for the family, and Baba, you want to start off since you up here?
I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll wait. But you know, there's no culture
Without agriculture.
I always bring plants.
Thank you. Thanks, Baba. All right. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, anyone want to get up here and get on the mic? I mean, please don't be shy. Mom is right in here with us, and she's listening to us. And so, we want to open up the mic. Maybe we can get a little tunes in the background.
We can do a song.
You want to do a song? Okay.
Yes,
Thank you. Blessed. Mama, how many students in here?
I was a student.
Okay, what's your favorite saying with Mama? You. Remember something, number one. You remember yours.
Oh, okay.
Here go mine. Hey, African. How about you, Fulani?
I like to quote something that, well, it's so many quotes.
Oh, it's a long one.
With Mama, but one of her favorite things. Where's my mic? Oh, thank you. I think the speaker's pardon me. One of the things that stuck with me was that Mama always stressed that the importance of your ideological family, because some people ask, like, well, was Mama related? Was she blood? But you know, when she transitioned to me, I realized I lost a lot of people in life, but this is the first time someone so close to me has transitioned, because Mama was like a second mama to me. She was at our house every day during my childhood. So I can't really remember a particular saying right now, but I have so many, memories and things. But I'm going to Mama Thea because I don't want to take her time, and I'll let her finish. Thank you. Oh, you got it.
Anyway, I just like to say, Mama, she was always my favorite. From early, didn't get close until after like my 30, like 35 and stuff like that. And then by the time I got 40, 45, people kept saying, is that your sister? Or is that your mom? So I became her sister, and I became her little sister. And, as time grew, we became close from different levels. Mama wasn't easy, but God knows she was everything. And anybody that knew Mama, everybody claimed her. Like, yeah, that's my mama. You see what I'm saying? I got this piece right here. I got that piece right there. At least that's how I understand it. You see what I'm saying? But in the meantime, she's a woman who we can never forget, who I will miss immensely. You see, and even all those close times in the end, we wasn't really speaking that good. But when I saw her, and I said, I ain't speaking to her no more. I was lying, right? When I saw her, she said, boy, did I miss you. And if I don't know anything about her, when she said, boy, did I miss you, that was the whole, because she was already seeing herself. She was in an urgency. And she knew she was in an urgency. But she was everything to many of us. And that love ain't gonna never die. I'm her little sister. I'm Mama Thea. And that's what's up.
Thank you, Mama Thea. I have a former student, one of Mama's students that she really loves to brag about. Diallo, come on up. This is one of Mama's students, and one of her most prized possessions. He's a Pan-Africanist. He's living all of the things that Mama taught us Diallo is living the dream. So I'll have Diallo come up and he's gonna give his piece. And
Bargani.
Ujima.
Bargani.
Jimba.
So I apologize for being a little late. Falani had asked me to pour libation, and I know it's been done, but I was just like, I still would like to do it because it's Mama. Just as my individual offering. I thought this wasn't going to be this difficult. Okay. So, one of the things that I've witnessed this year, in particular, intimately, about death in our community is it helps me see personally how strong of a community we are. How strong of a community we are. And so I've been just kind of can y'all hear me in the back? No? 1, 2.
Is it on?
It's on. I think. I'll try again.
It's on.
It helps me see how strong the community is, and how committed we are to each other, even though there are so many of us around the world who may not speak every day, or see each other every day, or eat with each other every day. And I was thinking about this from the time Falani hit me, and I was like, it's really wild because you learn the connection between life and death, and Mama Hasinatu just had so much life. Just one of the few elders that you can have a real conversation with things that mattered to you. Just where am I standing? Despite the
Come closer. Okay.
Ancestors, man.
despite the generation gap,
Maybe.
if somebody turns it down, that might help. The gain might be up. Okay. And Mama Hasinatu had so much life, so I had the benefit of my first class every morning for my 11th and 12th grade year being Mama Hasinatu's class. And I just had the benefit of seeing her every morning to start my day. At a time when I was going through my whole thing being a young black man in DC in the early 90s and coming to school smelling like I probably shouldn't have and other things. But having a teacher to not let that move her away from what she saw in me, right? And instead do something different. Give me some oil or something. Be like, come to my house after school. And then just allow me to sit and listen. But to really be able to have a conversation with the elder about something that's really important to you that may not have been important to them for 20 or 25 years. As a young person, just really helped me learn how to deal with people younger than me, right? Because sometimes I feel like the older we get, we forget that we were young. We didn't do things that they did. At any rate, Hasinatu meant a lot to me. Not just for the men, Baba Muhammad, and the two houses connected on Lee.
everything, like see the African and everything, and then show you wow and how it's African. You know what I mean? Just real. Mama is just, oh man, I could probably be here for days. I heard somebody say, what's your favorite saying from Mama Hasinatu? And I can't say mine here in public. But my favorite one is a word that, you know, is just because it's Kwanzaa and there's a lot of elders here, I ain't gonna say it. But Mom, start with an N, then we'll start with an M from the definition of keeping it real. Because sometimes when we grow up around elders who just be straight fake with us, we don't get a chance to get what we supposed to get from them because they trying to hide from us the things that they ain't do right, and that's our lesson. Be straight with it. So anyway, you know, Mama Hasinatu is one of my mothers, and because her born son is a Scorpio like me, from the time we met, she was just like, I know you're Scorpio because my son is Scorpio, so there's nothing you can say to me. So, you know, it's just one of those things. So, and niggas. But it was always from the Tupac version. Yeah, the Tupac version. The Tupac version. You know, but Mama is, man, me and Kevin, we be talking about some of the same stories that we both have together, and I'm like, wow, you know, so,
Tell them what it means.
just inside Evelyn Summer, inside Anna Matilda Saucy Layton, inside John Johnson, inside Aunt Dot, inside Uncle Raymond, inside Aunt Dot, inside Papa Benjamin, inside Mingo Summer, inside Star Summer, inside Aunt Sadie, inside Margaret Summer, inside George Summer, inside. And you know that Kofio, Kotu Kwan Pan, this is Kwati, Okuno, me Pao Cho, Adamo. Okuno, I say Madasi P for bringing all of us here together. I say Madasi for the life of Mama Hasinatu. We say thank you for all of the things that she's given to us and all of the things that she continues to give to us and all of the things that she haven't given to us yet. I know for me personally, my life would be very, very different without the influence of Mama Hasinatu in my life. And I can say confidently that she's one of the reasons why I'm alive. I say Madasi P for her wisdom, for her foresight. I say Madasi P for her ability to just keep it real, for not know how not to keep it real, for being able to connect with youth, for being able to embrace the youth culture, for being able to see the independence, the resistance, and the Africanity in the things that we found valuable that a lot of times our elders may not have. I say Madasi P for allowing her to be my teacher directly in the classroom for as long as she was and outside of the classroom. I say Madasi P for Papa Muhammad, her husband, and the Guinea family for embracing my family and introducing us to the music and the drum and the dance. I say Madasi for this gathering, Madasi for everybody that she touched. We ask that over the next couple of weeks, you carry her, you comfort her, and you ensure that she reaches the other side of the river with comfort, clarity, to continue to do the work that she was born here to do. We say Madasi P for taking her in your arms, for taking her in your embrace, for taking her the way she wanted to go, the way she needed to go with you. We say Madasi for everything that she's left with us, everything that she's left for us, and the things that she will continue to do for us from the other side. We say again, Madasi for life, Madasi for our health, Madasi for protecting our homes while we are away, Madasi for making sure that they're safe when we return home. We say Madasi for the relationships that she's built through us, with us, among us. And we just say Madasi for her life, for her spirit, and for everything that she continues to do for us. Oh, kuno, mi pautro, adamo. This is Kwati. Oh, dada kofi. I say Madasi P for the sharp sword that she carried. For we know that a lot of people in life would be different was it not for her. That some of the people who chose to step up and represent African people was because they knew they would have to see her one day, and if they didn't, they would hear. And they might have to face that sword, whether the actual sword or the sharp sword of the tongue. I say Madasi P for Mama Hasinatu so much. She's meant so much to me and my family and our life and to everybody here. I have to continue to give thanks to her for my life, for my clarity, for helping me see the lessons and learn the lessons, for the encouragement. To meet somebody and have them immediately tell you that they see the African genius in you changes your life. And I say Madasi Madasi P for the way that she changed my life. For this and all things more, I say Madasi 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 Anano.
Wow, Ashe. Give thanks to y'all. All right. Okay, we're gonna move right on with the program. I think Baba Odunu wanted to do a piece. Baba? There's Baba.
Give thanks to all of you. Give thanks. I'm going to work to keep younger than 71. May I have the permission to continue to speak? Thank you. That's one of our custom and our traditions for those who are in that group and in that set. Is that okay? Yes. Thank you. Well, Mama, but I would be remiss if I didn't make a Madasi Madasi to the family and the Madasi Madasi to those who Mama has joined and those of us who are here. Many of you may not know my name. That's not that important. It just so happens to be Oduno Tariq or Baba Oduno. But what's most important is when I think about Mama Hasinatu, though we are doing what we're doing with her, I think about Mama Marilyn Preston Killingham, who made a transition the 26th of December in 2009. So we have a number of sisters and brothers who Mama Hasinatu has joined, known and less known and maybe even unknown. And why the plants? Last time I heard that Kwanzaa is the first fruit of the harvest, is it not? Sure. So if it's the first fruits of the harvest, and I'm not going to go too far into that, but because children are for some, and other things too. Let's just deal with the some, okay? And so what happens is that whether Africans sprout or not during Kwanzaa, I encourage times. And this is what Mama Hasinatu and some of us had in common in terms of life. And what's the beautiful thing about it, I mean, I could talk about how when our illustrious brother, elder filmmaker, Brother Haile Garima was doing his film back in the early 90s, that Mama had to go off to Jamaica and probably Ghana, and yours truly, she told me, she said, Baba Oduno, I need someone to take over my class. These are fourth graders, okay? With Miss Green up, you know, and so I said, Mama, I said, well, how long are you all going to be gone? And Mama said, maybe 2-3 weeks. I said, Mama, how long are you going to be gone? You've been around her in a certain kind of a way, you've probably never heard of that. And I'm not personalizing that. That's how brothers and sisters pitch in. And so what happened is that I'm here to share with you that Lolordi Muhammad, who was in that class in the 4th grade, Antonio, who was in that class, and you know, you start calling names, and Alex, his father who taught biology, and a number of other people who were in that class, and those young people still keep in contact with each other. So whether you, that's why we have to be very careful. Let me say this, Baba Oduno has to be very careful of how I deal with people, because you never know, excuse me, what people are doing with each other. I could talk about our relationship with the All African People's Revolutionary Party, and I'm not going to go off into that. Somebody else perhaps who will handle that. But the beautiful thing that I love about Mama Hasinatu, she was one of the few, my senior sisters, who could come to me and she said, Baba Oduno, she said, when I learned about the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Community Leagues, she said, no, it's not that I had not heard about Marcus Garvey. She said, but I heard it from you back in 1977. And it had nothing to do with me. It had something to do with the character of that woman. And I hope that we can cherish each other as she cherished each other's. I see my sister back there in the all white who sings in Spanish and other languages, because there were a few of us who continued to frequent this place here. You can wave your hand. Sister Lucy, right? And so there are those of us, there's no such thing as a generation gap. There may in fact be a spiritual gap, and maybe there is a generational gap. And so in my close, I would just do the first stanza of the Universal Ethiopian Anthem, because Mama Hasinatu loved for me, I'm not a vocalist, but she loved for me to sing a portion of the Universal Ethiopian Anthem, which was written by His Grace Josiah Arnold Ford in 1919, which was sung in many other parts of the world. And if any of you know of it, will you also assist and help me? Ethiopia, thy land of thy fathers, thy land where the gods love to be, as storm clouds at night suddenly gathers, our armies come around thee. We must in the fight be victorious, when swords are thrust outward to gleam. For us will the victory over the God of the ages grant unto our sons that lead. Thy wisdom thy gave to the sages when Israel was sore in need. I'm going to shorten it. Can you help me? Advance. Come on, people. This is not a saying. Advance. 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 To victory. To victory. Advance. Advance. With the might. With the might. Of the red. Of the red. The black. The black. And the green. And the green. Africa for the Africans. Those at home. And abroad. And those abroad. You Africans who are in here, I let you off the hook this time. Usually I ask you to stand. Is that okay? You did I let them off the hook, Baba Singhar? I'm just going to stop there. But I'll tell you this. I will teach children how to sprout throughout the year. And I will help them to learn how to crochet, how to knit, how to do the 12 social responsible crafts. I would hope that is Bayale out there somewhere?
Not yet.
Okay, but anyway, because our children do not need us just to be given prognostications of ritualization. Let me stop.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to come up? Okay. Okay. Got you.
Hello. How y'all doing? I want to give my condolences to Sister Hasinatu's biological family. I want to recognize her artistic and cultural family, and introduce myself. I am Rafiki, and I'm in her ideological family. It's kind of strange. I got 180 seconds. I don't talk so short, so I'm going to try to keep it tight.
It's not 100. It's
3 minutes.
Oh, I'm tripping on that. First I said 5.
Take your time. It's so strange to see all these young people talking about Mama Hasinatu and the effect that she had on her life. I'm 61 years old. When I met Mama Hasinatu, I was one of them young people. I was 25 years old. And that's tripping me out. Because I held on to my youth tenaciously. For real. We was youth organizers. We organized students. Mama Hasinatu was a youth organizer when we was organizing high school students in Washington, D.C. And so it's a few things. You asked things, her favorite statements and my favorite memory. Well, anybody who knew Mama Hasinatu then, I'm pretty clear and sure I can say their favorite or most persistent memory was her mouth.
Yes.
And so I come to tell her biological family and her artistic family that she talked to us and her ideological family the same way. You ain't had no choice. Because if you weren't keeping it real, she was going to make it real. Mama Hasinatu loved the All-African People's Revolutionary Party with all her heart and soul. And she loved Kwame Ture more than she loved the All-African People's Revolutionary Party. And I think there are a few things that she once said that we have championed. I am an African. I didn't hear y'all. I am African. Unequivocal. I didn't mean for y'all to repeat that, but that's okay. Now I want to say it, and I want it in your heart because I left Washington, D.C. in 2004 and went into the Caribbean. And when I left Washington, D.C., you couldn't come around here talking about I'm black. Yeah. Them days was done. Nobody in Washington was still black in 2004. We were Africans. We knew we were Africans. Anybody tried to be a Negro or colored or black, we told them we were Africans. When I came back, we black again. And I'm confused. And I really think we need to do something about that. Because going back forward. So she taught that we are African people. Her objective in life, in her biological family, I'm sure she told you, and her cultural family, I know she told you, was one unit. To unite our people everywhere we are, to bring us together, to organize us in our mass. Everybody should be in an organization fighting for their people. And if you're not in an organization fighting for your people, objectively, you are against your people. One unified socialist Africa. This was Mama Hasinatu's objective. This was our objective. This is what we were fighting for. The final thing I'd like to say is that Mama Hasinatu never met an African she didn't like. And it was because she didn't like you that she talked to you the way she talked to you. You could be a bum on the street, you could be a college professor, you could be Kwame Ture. All of us knew that word that Diallo would not repeat. Because she would tell everybody, you are more than you think you are. You are a part of a proud African people, and a part of an African religion. The final 3 words we will give you from her life, I'm sure all of you have heard it before, and they are this: organize, organize, organize. Thank you very much.
I'm just going to interject real quick because since we're talking about, this mama's mouth, I just thought of this super funny story. I'm kind of like Diallo. I mean, some of the memories you can share and some you can't, but I remember my mother, they created a summer camp for us called Cambuland. And so my mother would pack like 20 kids in her Volvo over the city. But one day, we took the bus. We was in Southeast doing something there. A lot of us had I'm gonna let y'all all right in front of DC jail. So you know, Mama can't stand authority, so she was like, keep pulling the bell, keep pulling the bell. And sure enough, after a couple of stops, the bus driver put us off. And so when he put us off, she said, I was like 5 years old or 6 years old. She told all of it, curse at him, curse at him, put my little fingers up. And so I'm all young and I'm looking around like, and so she was like, do it. And so we was these African kids with all these African clothes just cussing out the bus driver because Mama told us to. So those are some funny memories. And he did let us off in front of DC jail, but it was extremely funny. So that's one of my stories. I'm going to pass the mic to Donna.
So hello everyone. I found this today. I went to Africa. I actually don't know where. I may have gotten it in Ghana. So I found this today, and it was very fitting for Mama. You know who she is? This is her right here. Yeah. That's her. Work, right? So she came to me this morning in a poem I haven't written in a long time, since I was at Howard University in grad school in the 90s. But she did come to me this morning. She referred to me as her daughter, not her daughter-in-law. If I said daughter-in-law, she said, you are my daughter. And she called me her doctor, because I made sure that she had the things that she needed while she was here. So I'm going to read you all what I wrote for Mama as she came through me this morning. It's called Open Our Eyes. One love for me rising above all that chaos there in America, KKKA. My people here are truly free, and yes, they know me. Hey, Thomasine, Hasinatu Camara, our warrior sister. My mama Elizabeth, my freedom fighter daddy Thomas Sampler, Kwame Ture, Tupac, Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman, Chuck Brown, Little Benny, and yes, James Brown. What more do I have to say? Ain't no shame in my game, cause I'm here doing the damn thing, giving you what you all need to continue to succeed. Get your mind off of how and why I left. God and the ancestors are guiding me through this here journey. I have molded so many with my teachings of truth. Please continue to carry the torch and teach the children about one love, Africa. Always remember when you smell the scent of lemongrass and patchouli. Take it in, for it's me, blessing you with my sweetness. One love, one heart, one destiny. For real though. That's what the mama saying. For real though. Yes. Thank you all once again for coming out and bless my mother, my friend, and I will always hold her dear in my heart forever. Thank you.
All right, Baba Senghor.
Let's get more.
Wow. Y'all all right? Yeah. Well, a lot has been said, a lot more can be said, and a lot should be said. To the family, to the immediate family, to the revolutionary family, to the All African People's Revolutionary Party, to the UNIA, and to Banneker City people born here. that's African. I happen to be one.
Yes.
My grandmama was born here. But I can speak for me. But that would only be speaking for mysterious elements, because actually we all are spiritual beings having an earthly experience.
Yes, sir.
Y'all hear that?
Yes.
We all are spiritual beings having an earthly experience. With so many brothers and sisters in this town, and most of them in the cultural revolutionary community knew Mama Hasinatu. So you know what that says? That says, right now, every black person, every African person, Rafiki. By the way, I'm a Scorpio too. I'm 66. And that's my brother, we born on the same day. And this is Scorpio. So yeah, but that's not important. You see, like I said, listen carefully, because we are mysterious elements. It's not about me, he or she, it's about we collectivity. To get back to true Africanity and true sovereignty in the 21st century, we better check out blacktricity, not black. I said blacktricity. See, because blacktricity is what we all have, and all living things got it. Mama Hasinatu overstood that. That's why we're here now, because guess what? She gonna be super blacktricity now. She was just physical blacktricity like we are now, but now she's an angel, a goddess angel that can fly anywhere, anytime. So you better be on your P's and Q's. Because not only will she show up in your sleep, she can show up while you awoke. That's a fact that maintains itself. You see, sometimes we get too caught up in individuality, which is Eurocentric. And to get back to really freeing Africa and freeing Africans, we got to get back to the original plan that helped us build the pyramids. That's a fact, y'all. We get too caught up in our own I. It ain't about I. And all of us are going to become spiritual ancestors at one time. You're born to die, but as Garvey taught, it ain't no such thing really as death if you're working to help bring the world back to where it's supposed to be. Meaning, Hasinatu is very much alive now, spiritually. And more so because once you pass that last rite of passage, it is serious. I know because in my altar, or altars, because I got so much ancestors that right in this area, to go with the Garveys and the Nkrumahs and the Lumumbas and the Sekou Touré's on my thing. I'm talking about now, with Hasinatu added to them, you got some serious angel power. Tap in. Talk to her. Ask her for advice.
That's right.
You see, because we don't just stand on the shoulders of the ancestors. We are those ancestors in us. That's what that blacktricity is all about. So what I'm going to say for Mama Kathy, and Brother Corcoran, who's not here, who's traveled all over the world and cried to me when he found out. Because he said, hey, we lost one of the most powerful teachers that we ever had. Casman. These are Kathy's children who love Mama Hasinatu. And while they're not here, they feeling this right now. And I'm sure Ibrahim in Senegal, who love Mama Hasinatu. And I could go on and on and on, and just like y'all could. But I'm here to represent that family tribe. And to say to y'all, it ain't no joke. It's real. Because when you elevate through that last rite of passage, you don't got to struggle on a physical level no more. It's up to us to finish that struggle. So don't be content with the food of chickens. Y'all better rise up your wings and fly and free Africa.
It is a song that requires group participation. It's from written by an African from Texas named Hughie Ledbetter, better known as Leadbelly. Look at here, people, won't you listen to me? Don't you try to find a home down in Washington, D.C., cause it's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. I got the bourgeois blues. I'm gonna spread the news all around. Me and Martha, we went all over town. Everywhere we went, the folks were turning us down. 'Cause it's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. I got the bourgeois blues. I'm gonna spread the news all around. Well, it's the home of the brave. It's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. I got the bourgeois blues. I'm gonna spread the news all around. And for the things that I cannot say publicly. I certainly hope you know what I'm talking about. Look here, people, won't you listen to me? Don't you try to find a job down in Washington, D.C. It's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. I got the bourgeois blues. I'm gonna spread the news all around. Do you hear what I'm telling you? I got the bourgeois blues. I'm gonna spread the news all around.
Abagani. Ujima, right. And I know Mama Hasinatu would want me to come up here and give the greeting for Kwanzaa. I'm so thankful and grateful to be here. My name is Ayo Handy Kendi. You asked what was something that was a favorite that Mama Hasinatu had often would say. And I couldn't think of the one word, but I will have to speak of how much she inspired my son, Aiko. She was one of the first teachers who helped me understand the correlation between his hyperactivity and how brilliant he was. So while teachers and students was trying to relegate him to taking some kind of medication for his so-called hyperactivity, right? She told me, she said, don't you dare put that boy on no medication. I said, well, you know, I'm not really thinking I'm going to do that. But I'm listening to what these educators are saying. And Mama Hasinatu just like pulled me. And she said, no, you have to understand that us as African people, they're quick to say we're hyper. Well, I mean, you know, we got all this melanin running all through us. Right? We are brilliant from the very beginning of every essence of everything that is about brilliance, because we've done and created everything. And the fact that we are able to move at one time, sing at another at the same time, dance and drum, all, you know, is a part of our brilliance. And my son can do that. And I would watch him and I'd listen to her and I said, yeah, you are happy to be right. This boy can do 4 or 5 things then and can still do it today. So I wanted to just share that from a health perspective. The Mama Hasinatu had pulled together the understanding that brilliance is more than what those outside of these communities, that we are so blessed to be able to come to Kwanzaa events and come to African-centered schools and see African people reflecting the beauty of us that a lot of people don't get to see around this country. Mama Hasinatu was already there saying that health and education are one and the same. It's very difficult for our children to go out in the street in the morning and not have the food they need to eat. It's very difficult for our children to not have the hugs and then go out into the school world. She had made that connection that the love that we have to give to our children will also help them with their brilliance. Last, I just wanted to share what Diallo and Senghor spoke about. Because the last thing she and I was talking about was at Dick Gregory's, I think, going home service, and she was saying, yeah, I looked at her and I said, what's going on? And she said, you know, it's some things happening with me, and Mama Freedom had been saying Mama Hasinatu is trying to connect with you and breathe with you, and I said, well, she, you know, come on, please, please. Well, I don't think she made it, okay? And I want to share with us, if you've got a health issue, make it. Get to your practitioners, get to your doctors, get to your holistic folks, get to your alternatives, come up here and read the books. Get yourself healthy, because there's nothing better than having your health, okay? Health is our wealth. And too often us givers like Mama Hasinatu give until our well is depleted, and many of us are just passing away because we are just wearing ourselves out, trying to help, trying to save others, and trying to give so much of ourselves. So that's the one thing I know also that we had in common. She was a giver, and I'm speak from the heart that for a moment I was slowing down just to come within to replenish my well, which is what I was sharing with her when I saw her. Please, just stop. If you need to stop, take care of yourself, please stop and take care of yourself. You know, it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's selfless if you don't, okay? And so when she leave, when we all leave out the body, my mother just left her body at 92, who took care of herself very well. And she just passed away from letting go of the body, and kind of a broken heart. We had to share with her just very simple awareness, because as Senghor said, she started speaking to me. I left her, sent her off, and I went home. And she was talking to me right then. Yes, spirit never leaves, okay? We talk about it in these circles and say spirit never leaves. But yes, spirit never leaves. As long as you acknowledge spirit, spirit never leaves. But we are so thankful that she has left that worn out body, and she's able to now be that ancestor and be free. She's free.
Yes, she is.
She's good.
Yes, she is.
She's teaching from another place.
That's right. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, I'm all over the place. I've been making notes for 2 weeks. So I said on the 13th, I hope they give me more than 2 minutes. But anyway, try to keep it flowing. I met Mama Hasinatu about 38 years ago. As I was joining the All African People's Revolutionary Party, she had already become a member. And we were both living in the Southeast at the time. And I came to realize that she knew my father and his mother before we were friends, because one of them lived at 1000 G and her mother, they lived on 10th and 8th, so they were less than a block apart. So they knew my family growing up. We joined AAPRP. She became my son's godmother. She's still Jabari's godmother. Love Jabari to death. Hasinatu and I had one falling out. And it lasted maybe a couple of months. And when we saw each other, we must have cried for a couple of hours. And so the people in the room were trying to figure out what we were saying while we were crying. And we made a pact that we would let nothing, nobody, nothing come between us unless it was a principled, ideological split. And we held that pact. So anything that would go down, we say, Mama, let it roll right off your back. That ain't even important. We're not gonna let none of that. And when we would travel, went to Jamaica, went to Guinea, we went all up and down the East Coast, we went to Arizona, and we would, and I would always say, Mama, no matter what we do, when we travel, when we come back, our relationship has to be intact. So we made those bonds to never let pettiness get between us. And we held it down. And we would support each other. You know, we would tell each other when, she would do more telling you when you're wrong than I was. Mom was very bold. She didn't bite her tongue at all. And I grew up with a Leo sister. So when my sister passed, she just stepped right in and she just bossed me, just like the other one did. All the way through. Just bossed me. That's just the way they are. She was all about literacy and technology. We had hopes and dreams. She wanted to go across country. She wanted to ride the boats down to Anacostia. She wanted me to get on a bike, and I've been telling her for 30 years I'm not riding a bike in D.C. She's like, Mama, but it's the best way to travel. I was like, okay, well, I'll meet you there, but I'm not getting a bike. I would take her to all the controversial movies, because Mama would stand up in the theater, and she would let it be known. For instance, they did the James Baldwin movie and didn't put Kwame Ture in it. She said, Mama, that was deliberate. Because James Baldwin was tight with Kwame Ture. So anybody that did something on James Baldwin and didn't put Kwame Ture in the movie, I said, well, Mama, let's write a letter. You know, when people would do us wrong, we wouldn't fuss, we would just write them a letter. I said, Mom, we're not going to fuss, we're not going to argue, we're not going to cuss, we're not going to make a scene in public. We're just going to sit there. All of these posters all over the city. Smashed the FBI, the CIA, it's real. Oh my goodness. And we would just laugh. We got such a kick out of that. Such a kick out of that. She loved African Liberation Day. She loved African people. She loved travel. Man, what a woman. She loved all of the people at the schools that she worked at. She loved those principles. Even if she disagreed with people, she always tried to stand on principle. She loved those principles, all of them, from Nation House to Ideal to Booker T to Kaumba Learning Center to Bridges Academy. Because Mama was very generous, very generous. She was even telling me a couple of weeks ago, come over here and get something. Come over here and get some stuff. I was like, Mama, I'm not coming up there just to get stuff. I don't need nothing. Come on, Jen. Come on, Jen. So, you know, we had plans to do some other stuff, but, you know, I could see Mom was getting weak. But, you know, we did the best we could. We did as much as we could. So, I see y'all on the 13th. And, you know, and we're just collecting her things and try to keep her memory alive in terms of photographs and things like that. Because when we went to Guinea, we stayed 6 weeks. At Kwame's house. Because I got a lot of stories, right? We stayed 6 weeks at Kwame's house. People messed up our flight on the way back. So we go back and forth to the embassy, back and forth to the embassy, back and forth to the embassy. So Mama Hasinatu said, you know what? We ain't going back and forth to the embassy no more. We're going to stay in Guinea. We was already there 6 weeks. We're going to stay in Guinea until they put us out. I said, Mama, you're right. Let them call us. You know how telephone systems work. Let them call us when they got our passports together. So they finally, you know, sent word by somebody else, please come to the embassy. It's time for y'all to go. We were like, we ain't moving. We there 7 weeks. So it's like, you got to go to Senegal first. You going to pay for us? They sent us to Senegal for a few days. We got to see Gorée Island, you know. So we just had a good time, man. We just had so much fun, man. I just can't even begin to tell you. Just cannot. Okay, I'm gonna let somebody else have it. Okay, thank you. Jabari, you back? Jabari? He was on 95. You know the boss. Oh, okay. He'll be in a minute. What's up, brother?
So peace and blessings, everyone. My name is Kamal Grimes. You know, I'm just getting a little bit emotional as I was in line to come up here. It kind of hit me at once with everybody in here. It's like I'm not surprised that it's standing room only for Mama Hasinatu. I know, like, we could pack out a bigger venue if we needed to.
We're going to.
And we're going to the 13th. So I'm just getting a little bit jealous of everyone who's known Mama Hasinatu for 20, 30, 40, or 50 years because, you know, I just got to know her over the last 2 years. I met her in 2015. And people talk about what is your favorite saying. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it's really funny. She would look at people and say, "You a big-headed African," and then like the way, and it throws you off in the beginning when she says it. But she's like, "It's your brain. It's just I can see your brain working and moving and just you thinking. You know what I mean? You're a genius, that African genius." And it's just like, wow, that was really funny. Like she could she could build you up in a way that almost seemed like it was an insult, but it actually was like picking you up. So she was really, man, she was great. And so I got to know her coming to Sankofa. I think like I worked at Sankofa last year, but before I started working at Sankofa, I met her just coming as a regular patron. And just talking to her, I don't know how we ended up getting talking, but you know how it is in Sankofa. You meet people, you start to talk. And so she was one of the people I talked to, and I remember throughout the conversation, eventually she had told me, like, she was like, you know, I was in the movie Sankofa. I was like, for real? It's like, I've seen the movie. I was like, who are you? Which one were you? And then she was telling me who she was, and that she was the person who retells the story of how Nunu just basically killed the slave master just based on her just being African and having that power. I don't want to say voodoo or whatever, but you know, just yeah, I guess you could say voodoo, that spiritual power that you know that can't be explained, you know, easily through this Western lens, you know. And I just remember, I was like, wow, she's such a great storyteller. That's one thing I always remembered about Mama Hasinatu. And she started coming to our study group. At the time, I was a part of the National Black United Front. And we had a study group, the Sankofa Study Circle. And at the time, we were, some of the members in the organization, we were going through some difficulties with the leadership in the organization, just being honest. And like, so it was kind of a transitional stage for us. And Mama Hasinatu, somehow she just kind of came out. We needed elders, really. We were a lot of youth, kind of new to trying to organize. We just starting to read books and learning about this stuff. And she just came like, it was like she was sent to us, honestly, kind of just like to help us through that period where we're like, man, like, we want to do good for our people, but sometimes when you get in an organization and organizing, you don't. The way you know about joining some organization that the problems in black people are going to follow, the problems in humanity are going to follow any circle. So she was there just dropping jewels every week. She started coming to our study group religiously at Emergence Community Arts Collective with Miss Sylvia Robinson, who also just passed this year. So it's been really tough. These were some of the people that I started meeting over the last 3 or 4 years that really helped me to just sharpen my eye, sharpen what I wanted to do as far as organizing and just knowing myself. Mama Hasinatu was so good at telling stories. I remember she always tell us, you know, she's from 10th Street, right down the gutter. That was another reason, right by the alley. Right down by the alley. And she just kept it real, because, like, I'm from D.C., so that was another thing I could really appreciate her. She was so D.C. and yet so African, like, at the same time. It's like, you don't have to, from go-go, and she knew all of it, and it was no disconnect from her. So I really respect her off of that. And she also really, over the last 2 years, she started having this Kwame Ture event at Sankofa to let young people know about his memory. And Kwame Ture really was, I didn't know as much about him, honestly, until I started coming around Mama Hasinatu. It's like, he's one of the names you hear. He's like, okay, I'm going to get to him. I'll study him a little bit later. But when Mama Hasinatu came, I was like, nah, we need to know Kwame now, because this is the way we need to move. It's with that level of urgency. She had brought that urgency to you. So I don't want to take up everyone's time, but just to know, like, Mama Hasinatu, I loved her. She even brought Baba Muhammad to teach us a dance class in the study circle. She's like, let's do something different. You know, I'm going to bring my husband in here. He's going to teach her how to dance. And that was one of the most fun classes we ever had. And wow, another story. I took the bus with Mama Hasinatu to go visit, to go to a presentation. Baba Tashango and Billy Shaka, one of the teachers that she had worked with before, and she was like, "This is a great African teacher." And I was telling her I want to be a teacher in African studies, and she's like, "Yeah, you need to come to this lecture with him." And I'm like, "Okay, how are we gonna get there?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm about to get on the bus." Like, when you? I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go with you." So we just went up, left Sankofa, hopped on 2 buses, took the 70 to the 92, and we was just talking about DC, Africa, just everything. I just want to say, like, Mama Hasinatu, I was saying this the other day, she's the A+ elder. Like, from the youth, she gets 100%, like, because she related to us, like, on a real level in a way, like, oh, wow, like, I'm not even used to this. Like, she's the one, she hit me to Beyonce's new video. I didn't even, she's like, you see this lemonade? She's on the car, you know what I mean? She's talking about the power system. I was like, wow. So, man, I could go on and on, but long story, we did, at Howard, I had a radio show with a brother, Rashid. At one point, Baba Sam was involved with us, called Real Black and Gifted Live, RBG Live on Glass House Radio. And we invited Mama Hasinatu to be on our radio show because she was just such an amazing storyteller that we just like, we don't know exactly what we're going to talk about, Kwame Ture and whatever else that she wants to talk about. And it was, I don't know if we still have the audio. Something happened, we lost the audio, but we may be able to. I'm just praying, Mama, you know, to help us be able to get that audio, because I do not want that to go away. So God bless everyone for being here. Thank you for letting me share my piece with Mama Hasinatu.
Hey, how are you? Let's see.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aisha Dancy, and I met, I call her Sister Hasinatu when she lived in LaJoy Park, and I will always see her. She's always a pleasant spirit and a pleasant woman to interact with, and we kind of bonded over the computers. It seemed that she had one of the old computers with the floppy disk that was almost as large as what, and she and I were in the same neighborhood, and so we swapped a disk and we learned a lot, and I got to know her. We had a lot of fun together. But I'm gonna, then over the years, we've always seen each other and talked, and she always dropped words of wisdom, and we shared her experiences, some of my experiences, and men experiences, and she's always been very supportive and very, very true. And I really appreciate and love Sister Hasinatu for that, and her love that she had for her community and her children, you know, all the kids that she taught. But recently I've been dealing with some personal issues, and I have not been visible. So Spirit told me to go down to Busboys and Ports. I don't go out at night. You know, I'm like, I'm staying home. So I went down to Busboys and Ports, and while I was down there, I ran into a sister that she loves very much. I ran into Thea. So Thea, I had seen on the Facebook that Sister Hasinatu passed. So Thea came by, and we kind of were, I wasn't paying attention, but she saw me and she beckoned me. And while I was sitting there with Thea, you know, we all must recognize our godly gifts. Some of us are clairaudience. We can hear spirits. Some of us can see spirits. And you can't discount, or you can't negate those special qualities that God has given us. As a matter of fact, we should do more to enhance those gifts, because those gifts protect us in life. Well, I was very lucky in having a spiritual teacher that taught me to enhance my gifts of hearing. So I can hear spirits. Ayo can attest to that. I've been knowing her since I was 17. And Ayo's not going to lie. And what happens with me is I can hear, I can hear spirits. I can hear ancestors. I can hear other voices. And I'm not crazy, and I know I'm not crazy, because I have special people like Ayo, highly evolved, intelligent people that will let me know if I'm on point. And they'll also call me down if I need to be called down. So Hasinatu intervened and put Thea and I together. And I knew something was happening. It's sort of like a channeling type of process where you open yourself up and allow spirit to speak through you. And I just say, I surrender myself and allow you, Hasinatu, to speak through me, like I just said a prayer to her. Speak through me, because I don't like public speaking. And I said, make sure. And the main thing that I got from her is that she wants you all to know how great you all are and how special you've been to her and how much she loves you so much. When I was with Thea, sometimes when they spirits speak to you, you don't really, you like have an out-of-body experience because the message is meant for the person that's hearing it. The person that's giving it may not remember the total conversation, but the person that got the message can really relate to what's being said. And that's what happened with Thea, and she was able to, it was sort of cathartic, I think, and she was able to adjust her, at that point, her grief experience that she was having to help her to understand more, because Hasinatu does not want anyone to hurt for her. One of the things, and Thea can jump in there any time, one of the things I remember she said was when she crossed over to a beautiful dimension. She said that she was seeing ancestors out in the view. She said that she was covered around with fingers here. Then we left there. And then Hasinatu just started planning her own ceremony. And I was like, wait a minute. She's planning. She said she wanted her fabric around. She said she wanted her personality. She wanted her event very much like what's happening to reflect her life. She wanted the people that knew her best to come up and talk. And that's all that's happening now. But the strange ceremony, she even told me, she said, what I want you to do is set up a booth, like a psychic booth. I'm like a booth where the people that love me can come and talk to you, and then I can talk to them. I can tell them what they need to know from me. And I said, I'm not gonna have a party. We're not gonna have a party for you. She said she wanted everything. She wanted I hope that you all can be resonated to what I'm going to say and realize how much you are endeared, beloved, and how much you must know that you have an ancestor. You have an ancestor now in her form, in her spirit form, that you can talk to her and you can ask her. We must be open to them because that gives them more energy to connect with us. We're resonating energy, and it gives them more power to connect with us so that they can continue to serve us. So I hope that you all get that message. Now, I'm going to sing this song for Sister Hasinatu, and all I can do is see her smile and her beautiful clothes, and I see her on a bicycle, and I just see her being regal and royal in her mannerism. And I you know, she was one of the special people I've had the opportunity to meet in this life, and I'm sure that's true for all of us. So I'm just going to sing this song if I can. My nose running and everything. Excuse me. Okay. Honor, please. How it will astound you that the joy of your beings outshines every star you feel a part of, every mountain, sea, and shore, you will hear the voice of Hasinatu like you've never heard before. On the clear days, yes, those clear days, you will see forever and evermore. And Hasinatu will see you on the other side. Thank you so much. God bless you to the family.
You want to say something?
Oh, yeah.
Bruce Willis. The real Bruce Willis.
Tap Africans. I don't know who the oldest person in this room is, but do I have permission to speak? No. That's the whole African tradition. I'm talking about tradition and history. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Way in the back. You hear me well? Okay, I got a big voice and stuff. I'll talk about two things, tradition and history, and I try to tie it into Mama. And my name is Bruce Willis, but call me Brother Bruce. What everybody calls me Brother. I ain't hung up on that stuff, you know. I came to this university across the street in 1964. I'm 71 years old. When I came to university in September of 71, I was green. I'm black now. But at the university in September of 64, there was a lot of talk about this one guy. In 1964, I believe he was Esquire magazine. You heard of Esquire magazine? They chose him as one of the most influential men in the country. 1964. His name was Stokely Carmichael. He graduated in June. I came in September. I'm green. I don't know. When I was at the university, Malcolm died. I remember over radio. It's about history. I want you to take your eyes off of me and look around. See what this brother from Africa back there, he has brought all this history. This is our history here. This is our history. This is from whence we came. And Brother Haile did several movies. The Sankofa was the one that I saw. Okay? And at the time, he couldn't get a place to show the movie. They didn't want to see that stuff. He remember Avalon, and we saw it. Just like when Daughters of Dust came out, we was at the Biograph. Y'all remember that? There's really about 10 or 12 of us to go back that far. So it's history.
We all went though.
But in the movie Sankofa, go back and fetch it. In 1991, I started to write a book. I wrote a book in 98 called the Adinkra Dictionary. Does anybody have a big phone? Look up the Adinkra Dictionary. I want you, because I don't think the book is here right now. I don't think Holly has it. I want you to see the book so you know who I am. If somebody has a phone, look up the Adinkra Dictionary and so people can see the book. I don't know why I wrote the book, but I just fell into it. I see Mama Dara back there, and remember people might know about Baba Chico. We did art back here. This building was built by the Qs, Mega Sci-Fi. I'm not a Q. That's a Q campus crowd there, if you don't know anything about universities. The Q, no, they hung up on that. But this was the national headquarters for Mega Sci-Fi. And when I came by here, it was abandoned. It was boarded up and stuff for years and stuff. They didn't use it. And when I wrote the book, I wrote a book on, Baba Zulu was having Ushima tonight. Is this Abarigani? Ushima. Okay. What's the word? And Ushima, cooperative. And Baba Zulu always said, Brother Bruce said he's writing the book. And then I saw the book. And I didn't laugh at it. I just said I was going to write a book. Was right in that stuff. Not just because of the movie. I would come in here and she drew me in. I don't know, because I wrote the book you had that Dinker dictionary. Can you put it on full screen? Can you do that on the phone? Yes. And on the cover is a Sankofa bird. Yes. My brother Araya Adamu. Turn it up so people turn around so people can see it. That's the Sankofa bird. Like the brother has the Sankofa. This is Sankofa. Go back and fetch it. You lost something. What is it? I don't know. I don't know what I lost, but I know I lost something. And this is what we're here for. We're here to commemorate the sister. Education is Saborna. He was a psychiatrist. Speed it up and go faster, and then yeah. I heard that. Even with my hearing aids. He has a saying that I love. And I'll try to end it with that. I'll get up here. I can talk to you to, well, I don't think you know. This is a quote from Frantz Fanon. And people say, they say, why are you going to say it's on page 213 of the Evergreen edition? That's the old dollar book. The first chapter, National Culture. It's the end of my stuff here, okay? I ain't go off too much and stuff and make my point there. Frantz Fanon said this: each generation must, out of relative obscurity. That stuff like that. He's a intellectual, a psychiatrist from Caribbean. He talks a little different than we talk. I try to say the whole quote now for all at once. It's a great quote. Each generation, out of relative obscurity,
And I've known Mama Hasinatu for quite a while, and I thought she was a whole lot. And when I thought of her frequently, I thought of eternal life. Because I knew she was going to be here forever. But I know she's going to be here forever. Still I rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room, just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high. Still, I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my excuse me, does my haughtiness does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I'll rise. To a daybreak that's wondrously clear, arise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. Arise, arise, arise.
How y'all doing this evening? This is just beautiful. I'm kind of stunned by this. In case y'all don't know me, my name is Jonathan. I've been working here at Sankofa for about 3 years or so, going on 4. And the one thing I can say about this place is that you meet a lot of really interesting people. And more than that, you learn a lot in this place. Whether it's book smarts or just regular old game or something like that, you always learn. The way she moved and stuff, I could tell she really was with him, because the things she would say, the way she carried herself, the way she would reach us, the youth, like I could feel it right away, like, okay, so this is really what he was about, honestly. Like I could feel that all those words were true in her living them out every single day. And so it could be something as serious as that, or something as funny as like I'm just sitting there doing my work, and then I just hear Pop bumping right over here, all the way in the back end where she always used to sit, right there, just bumping. All these customers are just looking at me, just like, there's a lot of cuss words going on. What you gonna do about that? And then I'm on the other end, just like, oh, that's my jam, though. Wait a minute. Oh, we playing that one. So it was always like, I'm trying to. Like, it was always a crazy situation. It's like, what can I do in this situation? I just end up rolling right with her. Because you couldn't help it. It's just like. It was something about her, like I can agree with all the youth in here tonight that it was just something about that realness about her that really endears you to her. Like after that, you want to be her friend, and she's quick to be your friend. As long as you don't cross her though. So I guess all I can really say is that in all my experience here and being here, she's one of the people that's impacted me the most, and she's the one that really taught me personally, and mind you, we had a lot of conversations. Like we went into the personals. I found out about her past, she found out about my past before I came here. Like I was just like, damn, you crazy, and she like, I'm crazy. So we both kind of just like, all right, it's like you kind of found a kindred spirit in spite of the fact that she was an elder. And so, I guess all I can really say is that I'm really lucky and honored to have known this woman. I mean, she's so many things to so many people, but I'm just really glad to have called her a friend. So, that's really all I got to say about that.
Hello, everybody. Trying to keep it together. My name is Danny. I am one of her Booker T babies. I graduated in 2006, and I work at the International Hair Salon down here. And one day, I came in here to put my flyers down, and I received a call, and I was asleep, but I listened to the message, and it was Mama Hasinatu. I fell out. I immediately jumped up, called her back, and almost broke down into tears because I have not heard from this woman since I graduated. So when I talked to her, and this was November 12th, was the last time I talked to her. And we were just talking about what was going on with me, what was going on with her, you know, just chatting it up. She asked me, oh, well, how is Mary doing? And that was one of my closest friends in high school. And I was like, yeah, she's good. You know, we have to get together. And then she's like, yeah. And I remember I was driving and I was looking on my phone and I saw the news that she had. I said, no, no, she didn't. I just talked to her. She didn't. And I'm scrolling and scrolling and I see everybody posting and I said, wow. I pulled over and I looked at her picture. Well, after listening to her message that she left me over and over again, I wrote her something. Mama Hasinatu, writing you this letter with tears streaming down my face because I want to thank you. You were truly one of a kind, unapologetically African, strong, and proud. You were a powerful force of nature and a teacher that cared deeply about her students, and for that I say thank you. What a beautiful intellectual you were, and had an aura and smile that shine with the same intensity as the sun. You were my goddess, and I will forever treasure the moments and conversations we had. Now as I sit here barely holding it together, typing you this letter, know my queen that I'm crying because it was an absolute honor to have met and known you. I know that you have way more teaching to do, and I know that you walk amongst us as a spirit guide, teaching, touching, and guiding more beautiful souls the way that you have touched and guided mine. Oh, Mama Hasinatu, I love you with every fiber of my being. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your love. And thank you for your heart. Thank you.
Oh, man. Okay. So, I'm traveling long and deep. My name is Freedom F. And I considered Mama a sister, a friend, a reflection, a reflection of myself when I couldn't see myself at all, because she was a stellar representation of the dignity of an African woman born in America,